Good afternoon, students. Welcome to Success at CA Exam Series 2, specifically for BOS May 25 examination. Just like before each and every examination, BOS comes out with success tips, some important pointers, or any doubts which you are finding, or any doubts which you want us to resolve so that you can appear in the exam and you can be successful. So, for that specifically, we BOS tend to organize this series, this webinar, so that we can interact with you. So today it's our second series for paper 5, auditing and ethics, and mentor for the session, I am CA Karuna Bhansali.
And myself, C. Ankita Yadav.
So good afternoon, right? So students, as you already know that we our syllabus is divided into 11 chapters, and those 11 chapters are again, if we see section wise and skill wise weightage, so it is again segregated into sections, right? So 9 sections, yeah. First section is for 4 to 6%. It means 5 to 7 marks weightage is there, and the topic which is covered is chapter 1, right? And the section 2 weightage is again 8% to 12%. Okay. And for this, minimum of 9 marks and maximum it can go to 14 marks. And same is for section 3, your section 6, section 7, right? For all these sections, weightage is 8% to 12%. But maximum weightage is of section 4, right? 12% to, sorry, section 5, 12% to 20%. And this section comprised of topic
Chapter 5.
chapter 5, audit of items of financial statements. So balance sheet items, this section is of maximum weightage. It means 14 marks minimum and 24 marks maximum it can go to. So this is again very important topic, and when we are revising we need to keep these facts into mind so that we can accordingly prepare, right? Then we are having weightage for section 4 and section 8, 12 to 18%. So this weightage analysis is given on the website, right? So before you means when you are starting your studies and when you are revising, you need to take care of this section wise weightage so that you can accordingly allocate the time, right? Now second point, you know the pattern of the paper, which I feel now you all are aware that this paper is of 100 marks, and this paper is divided into two parts. One is multiple choice question, second is descriptive part, right? Multiple choice question part is again of 30 marks, and that part is divided into integrated case scenario based MCQs based case scenario based MCQs and three independent MCQs, right? To total 15 MCQs are there, and you need not to give any reasoning for the same. You just need to opt the correct answer and you need to darken the circle in the OMR sheet. Okay. For remaining 70 marks, you are having one question's internal choice and one additional choice, right? So each question is divided into 14 marks. 14 marks, now you are having total 6 questions. So out of 6, you need to opt for 5 questions, and in one of the question, you are having internal choice also for 4 marks, right? So this way, our paper is of 118 marks. तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि आपके पेपर का क्या पैटर्न है, कितने चैप्टर्स है और उस चैप्टर की क्या वेटेज है. Then again, inter auditing and ethics subject is prima facie based on auditing standards, right? Engagement and quality control standards. So when you are studying engagement and quality control standards, please first so you need to remove this fear कि auditing subject is very tricky and very difficult, because it's in our habit that we do audit of each and every activity, right? Whatever we are doing in our routine also, generally we check that how we spent our time, how much money we have spent for any specific activity, how much gain, right? If even for a hotel bill or for any other like pocket money. These are the basic example which indicates that from a small child, means it's from childhood we are having habit of pursuing audit, right? So auditing is not a boring subject, but when we are checking, certain parameters are there, right? So for those parameters, where these parameters comes from, so these are from engagement and quality control standards on auditing. Okay, तो अभी तक आपने जब पढ़ा होगा तो आपने पूरा ध्यान दिया होगा कि कितने स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग है, कि स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग भी कुछ सीरीज में डिवाइडेड है, राइट? कुछ जनरल स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं जो जनरली कंप्लायंस के लिए होते हैं, कुछ हो गया आपका रिस्क असेसमेंट प्लानिंग से रिलेटेड हो गया, कुछ आपका ऑडिट एविडेंस से रिलेटेड हो गया, कुछ रिपोर्टिंग से रिलेटेड हो गया, कुछ हो गया आपने अगर किसी और पर्सन का वर्क यूज किया, लाइक वो इंटरनल ऑडिटर हो गया, या कुछ काम ऐसे होते हैं जो सीए को नहीं पता, उनको एक्सपर्ट की हेल्प लेनी पड़ती है, तो एक्सपर्ट का यूजिंग द वर्क ऑफ एक्सपर्ट हो गया, यूजिंग द वर्क ऑफ इंटरनल ऑडिटर, or using the work of like in case of principal auditor, this branch auditor. So that way also we need to use the work of others, but of course responsibility will remain of the statutory auditor, right? So ये सारे standards कुछ series में divided है, और जब हम उसको पढ़ते हैं तो हमें वो ध्यान होना चाहिए कि कौन सी सीरीज किस पर्पस से बनाई गई है, ठीक है, कौन सी सीरीज में कौन से कवर्ड है, क्योंकि जब पेपर में आप आंसर लिखेंगे तो आपको उन स्टैंडर्ड्स का रेफरेंस देना है। ओके, देन नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, जब स्टैंडर्ड्स को हम पढ़ते हैं तो हम उसको कैसे रिटेन करें, कैसे ध्यान रखें, या हम उसको कैसे पढ़े, तो हर चीज का जैसे हम देखते हैं ना कि क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है, क्यों ये बनाया, क्या इसका स्कोप है, ऐसा तो नहीं हर चीज सब पे एप्लीकेबल होगी। So we should be aware ki what is the scope of that particular standard, why this standard is. Then in each and every standard, role of auditor is defined. Then of course, you need to see what is the role of auditor. What is the auditor's duty? How auditor will report, how auditor will look into it, right? So all those parameters and factors auditor need to consider. And all this is discussed in engagement and quality control standards. That is the standards on auditing, standards on assurance engagement, standards on related services review, right? So all these standards are forming part of engagement and quality control standards. Okay. Would you like to add on something?
Yes, ma'am. The students, the duration of the exam will be 3 hours, but prior to 3 hours, 15 minutes will be given to you for reading the question paper. So in that 15 minutes, you will be providing 6 questions in which you have to attempt 5 questions. Question number 1 will be compulsory, and out of 2 to 6 questions, you have to attempt any 4. So which question you will leave? You will decide in that 15 minutes. You should select the best of your 4. Out of 5, you should select the best of your 4. So, and first you have to attempt the question which you know the best. Like because there is no such a rule like first you have to attempt question number 1. So you can start with any of the question. So you should start the question of
You
which
know
answer you
best.
know the best.
Right, so 15 minutes duration is very crucial, very important. तो आपको उसमें पूरा प्लानिंग आपका जो है वो 15 मिनट्स ड्यूरेशन में हो जाता है। सेकेंडली, जब आपको पूरा पेपर नहीं आता है तो यू शुड नॉट बी पैनिक, टेक अ डीप ब्रीथ, स्टार्ट विथ व्हाट यू नो बेस्ट, राइट? फॉर एमसीक्यू पार्ट तो don't leave any of the MCQ. Yeah, I remember one of the query which we received from the student through Ask Your Query app. I hope you all have downloaded BOS mobile app and you can share your queries through Ask Your Query feature. So one of the student was asking ki if we attend whole paper, then also we'll be getting marks for the attempting 100%. No, in professional exam, it's not like that. If your answer is correct, you will get the marks, right? It doesn't matter that you have written answer for each and every question. The answer should be correct one. The answer should be as per the requirement of the question. It should not be irrelevant. Okay. So we need to take care that the question should be answer should be required and relevant. So when you are planning in the initial 15 minutes duration, at that point of time only you need to think you need to emphasize that each and every question, like MCQ, each and every MCQ is of 2 marks, whether it is based on case scenario or it is independent. But simply, I can say that all are application based, but then you need to define a time frame, that how much time you are going to allocate to that particular question. Not only for the MCQ part, but for descriptive part also, you need to specifically define the time frame, that how much time you are going to allot for that question. It should not so happen that ये question बहुत अच्छा आता है तो आज हम 45 मिनट तक या 40 मिनट तक इसी को लिखेंगे. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि आपको टाइम मैनेजमेंट बहुत इफेक्टिव तरीके से करना है. तो इफेक्टिव मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कितने मार्क्स का एलोकेशन है, अकॉर्डिंगली आप अपना टाइम मैनेज कीजिए. जो क्वेश्चन नहीं आता है उसके लिए बिल्कुल पैनिक नहीं होना है. तो ये 15 मिनट ड्यूरेशन आपका बहुत क्रूशियल और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसके लिए आप अभी से प्रैक्टिस करें. लाइक हमने मॉडल टेस्ट पेपर बुकलेट है, मॉक टेस्ट पेपर्स है, प्रीवियस एग्जामिनेशन क्वेश्चन पेपर है. आप उसको 3 आवर्स 15 मिनट ड्यूरेशन टाइम में define करके उसको you practice. So once you have completed one paper, you can emphasize that how you can improvise in the same, and in next test paper you can improvise the same. And definitely after sitting in the examination condition for 2 to 3 papers at main examination, your time management will be great, best one. And when you have written the answers in the examination condition and you have evaluated your answer sheet, you have assessed where you are lacking and you are improvising on the same, at the main examination time you will not be stressed. In questions you will take care of those facts, that what kind of problem you have faced when you were writing the answers.
For evaluating your answers, on the BS Knowledge Portal website, answers of each model test paper, mock test paper, or previous question papers are uploaded on the website. So you can compare your answers with the institute answers for your improvement. Like you will get to know for what mistakes you are doing, so that you will not repeat the same mistake in the paper.
Right. So this is for your, basically, I hope you all are already working on the mock test paper or time management and all those factors. And you are, of course, auditing your answer, that after reading the question, when you are writing the answer, whether you are writing all the required points. It should not so happen that if the question is application and analysis based, then you forget to mention the required standard, which standard will be applicable in that particular situation. So reference of that standard should definitely be given. Then according to that standard, relevant provision should also be discussed. If the situation, if the question require you to conclude for the same, definitely after giving the provision, you need to interlink the situation with the provision, and thereafter you need to give the कंक्लूजन. तो ये वाला पार्ट आपको बिल्कुल मिस नहीं करना है अगर एप्लीकेशन एंड एनालिसिस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है. I always repeat this, that you can write in your own words, you can write in your own language. It is not at all required that you should write word by word verbatim or study material language. But definitely, please take care that your language should be not so technical terms should be taken in the positive spirit, and you should have habit of writing the technical terms. Like for misstatement you need to write misstatement only, or analytical procedure, substantive analytical procedure, or recalculation, okay, methods of obtaining audit evidence. So you should be trying to develop the habit to retain those technical terms so that you can write in the examination. Of course, sentence formation can be in your own words. We are not asking for inverted commas answer, right? So this is the main thing. If the question is of knowledge based, so please read the question twice carefully, and when you will be practicing the mock test paper with the help of model test paper, definitely your time management will improvise, because we will be having habit to read the question quickly. Okay, so read the question twice and thrice so that you can understand what is the requirement of question. Because sometimes it happens that when we interact with the student, उनको आंसर आता है लेकिन वो क्वेश्चन पढ़ के समझ नहीं पाते कि उससे क्या पूछा गया, और वो एग्जाम में रिक्वायर्ड आंसर नहीं लिख पाते. ठीक है, तो ये आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि आप रिक्वायरमेंट को समझ के क्या रिक्वायर्ड आंसर दे रहे हैं, तो आप अपने आंसर को चेक कीजिए कि क्या आपने वो पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं। प्लस सेकंड चीज, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि 4 मार्क्स का है तो हमें 4 पॉइंट्स लिखना है, या 5 मार्क्स का है तो 5 पॉइंट्स लिखने हैं, राइट। बट अगर छोटे पॉइंट्स है तो 5 मार्क्स का या 4 मार्क्स का है तो आपको 8 पॉइंट्स भी लिखने पड़ सकते हैं, 10 पॉइंट्स भी लिखने पड़ सकते हैं। या ऐसा होता है कि कभी कभी क्वेश्चन में आपको 3 चीजें पूछ रखी है, मतलब हो सकता है 4 मार्क्स का, लेकिन रिक्वायरमेंट जो है वो ज्यादा पूछ रखी है। उस केस में आपको उस सारी रिक्वायरमेंट को आंसर करना होगा, राइट। लेकिन अगर आप 4 मार्क्स या 5 मार्क्स के पॉइंटर्स लिख रहे हैं तो उनको आप रिपीट मत कीजिए, या आपने अपने नोट्स के लिए शॉर्ट में डिवाइड करके पॉइंटर्स बनाए हैं, तो उन पॉइंटर्स को जब आप रिवाइज करते हैं तो प्लीज डू रिमेंबर कि दीज 3 पॉइंटर्स आर 1 पॉइंट। So for that 1 point, 1 mark is being allocated. So it should not so happen that आपने वो 3 पॉइंट लिखे और आपने सोचा मेरा 3 मार्क्स का अटेम्प्ट हो गया है, and your answer is of only 0.33 then, rather than 1 mark for 1 pointer, because you have compiled, you have segregated 1 point into 3 points, and the examination answer sheet you have compiled all those 3 pointers, 1 1 1 1, that is not correct, right? तो ये चीज आपको स्पेसिफिकली टेक केयर करना है। तो आपने जो आंसर लिखा है उसको आप इवेल्युएट जरूर कीजिए। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपको लग रहा है कि 4 पॉइंट लिखने हैं, तो मेरे को भी कुछ थर्ड पॉइंट तो याद आ गया, फोर्थ याद नहीं आ रहा, तो मैंने उसको दूसरे वर्ड्स के साथ लिख दिया। उसके लिए कोई स्पेसिफिक मार्क्स एलोकेशन नहीं है, पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट्स के लिए पर्टिकुलर मार्क्स है। तो प्लीज ऐसी गलती ना करें, टेक केयर स्पेसिफिकली फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, और ट्राई टू गिव रिसोर्स ऑफ द लाइक ऐसे 240 और ऐसे 250। तो जो सोर्स है, जो रिसोर्स है जिसके बेसिस पे आप आंसर दे रहे हैं, उसको जरूर आप कोट कीजिए। देन वन मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, जब आप क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से रीड करते हैं तो उसके लास्ट पॉइंट में, या जहां जहां क्वेश्चन की रिक्वायरमेंट है, उसको आप बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ें। कभी क्वेश्चन मैनेजमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से पूछा होता है, कभी ऑडिटर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से पूछा होता है। तो अगर आपने उस चीज को अंडरस्टैंड नहीं किया तो आप आंसर दूसरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देंगे। तो स्पेसिफिकली ये टेक केयर कीजिए कि क्वेश्चन आपसे क्या पूछ रहा है, अकॉर्डिंगली योर आंसर शुड कमेंसुरेट विद द क्वेश्चन, राइट। तो ये आप स्पेसिफिकली ध्यान दीजिए। ओके, हम आपकी क्वेरीज को भी देख रहे हैं, अगर आपका कोई क्वेरी है तो। देन आज हम लोग चैप्टर 11 जो है उसमें थ्रेड्स, सेफगार्ड्स, फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल्स, वो आपसे डिस्कस करेंगे। देन क्योंकि इन लास्ट चैप्टर, लास्ट वेबिनार वी डिस्कस चैप्टर 4, चैप्टर 5, राइट, एंड वन मोर चैप्टर वी हैव डिस्कस अकॉर्डिंग टू द requirement of the student. So if you want any specific chapter or any specific concept to be discussed in the webinar, you may let us know. Otherwise, what we are going to cover, we are going to ask you some of the MCQs. You can answer in the chat or you can raise your hand, right? And apart from this, हम लोग थ्रेड्स, सेफगार्ड्स, फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल्स, एसर्शंस, कुछ क्वेश्चन हम आपसे पूछेंगे। अभी जो हम एमसीक्यू बना के लाए उसमें हमने ऑलमोस्ट सारे चैप्टर के 1 to 11 चैप्टर के कुछ एमसीक्यूज हमने आपके लिए लेके आए हैं, ठीक है। तो विच वी कैन डिस्कस 1 or 2 इंटीग्रेटेड केस सिनेरियो ऑल्सो वी हैव हियर विथ टू डिस्कस विथ यू। बट हाँ, आपको आई होप ये पता होगा कि हाँ, बीओएस के रिसोर्सेज जो हैं, आपने अगर मोबाइल ऐप डाउनलोड किया है तो यू ऑल मस्ट बी अवेयर कि व्हाट are the resources available over BOS mobile app or on BOS knowledge portal. So institute generally gives you study material which you all know, revisionary test paper you all know, mock test paper, 2 series are there and 2 series of webinar are there. Then you are we generally conduct some webinars also for important topics like revisionary, you can say, right? Apart from this, we are having case scenario booklet wherein reasoning for the MCQ also are being discussed. So if you find any difficulty in the reasoning or in the MCQ, you can refer to the reasoning. Still, if you are having any doubt, you can definitely get back to us. You can call us on 0120304595, or you can use the Ask Your Query feature of the mobile app, BOS mobile app. Okay, so you can ask with the help of that. Okay, then we are also having our saransh booklet. I think you brought this na, this saransh booklet is also available, right? So you can refer this also for flow charts and like for revision purposes. It's in diagrammatic form for your revision, but of course it's not substitute of detailed study, it's for quick revision. So revision, of course we need to study the topic carefully and then we can revise, right? So in this also we have given you some tips that please be stay organized, create a study schedule, stick to it. Now also today it is 11th of April and your paper is I guess on 11th of May, right? So we are having 11th to 11th,
30 days.
right? So please plan your each and every day. It doesn't mean that you need to study 24 hours. Take proper sleep, do some meditation, do some yoga. But of course, your timetable should be in such a manner that your time is planned properly. You are not wasting a single minute, right? Avoid selective study. Of course, I hope you all have covered the whole syllabus and weightage we have already shared with you. Challenging questions when you will be going through the suggested answers, you will be practicing with the help of mock test paper, model test paper booklet. Then definitely you'll find some of the question where more than one provision are being discussed, or in some of the question you will find difficulty. Those questions should be noted at one place. So when you are going for paper, before proceeding further, your revision should definitely cover those questions which are crucial, which are important. बिकॉज फिर आपको क्या होता है पेपर में जब आप लिख रहे होते तो लगता है अरे उसको मेरे को रिवीजन करना था और वो मेरा छूट गया. तो वो क्वेश्चन जब आप अभी प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं आपकी नोटपैड में वो नोटेड होने चाहिए ताकि आप उसको रिवाइज कर सकें, राइट? तो आपके पास वो कंपाइल होने चाहिए एक जगह पे, जितने भी क्वेश्चंस जिसमें आपको मेजर रिवीजन होता है या जिसमें भी आपको लगता है कि डिफिकल्ट है आपके लिए. ऑफ कोर्स हैंड रिटन नोट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आपने कुछ निमोनिक्स बना रखे हैं, आपने अपने हैंड रिटन नोट्स बना रखे हैं, तो नथिंग इज लाइक दैट. बिकॉज जब आप पढ़ते हो और उसको जब आप लिखते हो तो आपके ब्रेन की रिटेंशन पावर बढ़ती है. और जब हम पढ़ते हैं तो हमें लगता है हमें सब कुछ आता है, बट जब हम लिखने बैठते हैं तो हमें वो चीज याद नहीं आती. और पेपर में इसी वजह से हम पैनिक भी हो जाते हैं, या फिर ऑडिट के पेपर में तो ऐसा होता है कि बहुत अच्छा पेपर हुआ लेकिन मार्क्स नहीं आते हैं, क्योंकि हम उस चीज को रिटेन नहीं कर पाते और हम उतना ही लिख पाते हैं जितना हमें लगता है कि ये बस इतना रिक्वायर्ड है. ठीक है, रिटर्न प्रैक्टिस इसलिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, तो पहले आपको कंसेप्ट को अच्छे से समझना है, उसके बाद आपको रिटर्न प्रैक्टिस करना है. नोट्स को नहीं देखना है. नोट्स आपने प्रिपरेशन के लिए बनाया है, रिवाइज करने के लिए बनाया है, लेकिन व्हेन यू आर डूइंग राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस, यू आर अपियरिंग, यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग योर मॉक टेस्ट पेपर इन एग्जामिनेशन कंडीशन, डेफिनेटली आपको ये चीज ध्यान रखनी है. बिकॉज उससे ही आपकी एनालिटिकल स्किल बढ़ेगी, आपकी कंसेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ेगी और आप को ये आइडिया लगेगा कि आप कितना रिकॉल कर पा रहे हैं, रिक्वायरमेंट आप समझ के क्या वो सारे पॉइंटर्स लिख पा रहे हैं या वो छूट रहा है. तो इसलिए ये बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. एंड देन आप कंसिस्टेंटली अगर आप रिवाइज करते हैं, प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, तो डेफिनेटली अच्छे से आप कर सकते हैं. टाइम मैनेजमेंट वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. स्टार्ट विथ आंसर यू नो द बेस्ट. ये सब सारांश में आपके लिए टिप्स दिए हैं हमने. प्रेजेंटेशन मैटर, तो आपका क्वेश्चन आंसर जो है, कुछ बच्चे हमें पूछते हैं कि क्या हम फ्लो चार्ट में आंसर दे सकते हैं क्या. तो इट इज नॉट एडवाइज्ड. आप बुलेट्स में लिखिए, पॉइंटर्स में लिखिए, बट क्वेश्चन शुड बी विथ हेडिंग और सब हेडिंग. आप प्रॉपर सिस्टमेटिक आंसर लिखिए ताकि जो इवेल्युएटर है उसको भी आइडिया लग सके कि मतलब उसको ज्यादा मेहनत ना लगे. कोई चीज आपको लगता है मुझे स्पेसिफिकली हाईलाइट करना है, आप उसको अंडरलाइन भी कर सकते हैं. बट योर आंसर शुड बी लाइक दिस ओनली. इट शुड नॉट बी कि इन फ्लो चार्ट में दे दिया आपने या बहुत क्लमजी वर्क किया, नीट एंड क्लीन काम नहीं किया, तो आपका करेक्ट आंसर होने के बावजूद भी एग्जामिनर को बहुत ढूंढना पड़ जाएगा और हो सकता है कई बार वो फिर चीज मिस भी हो जाती है, राइट? नेम एंड नंबर्स ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड्स और कारों के क्लॉजेज हैं, तो यू ट्राई टू डेवलप द हैबिट टू रिटेन रिमेंबर, because based on the provision when you write the answer na you get marks. Okay. कॉमन मिस्टेक्स, आप कई बार क्वेश्चन को जब रीड करते हैं, जब अगर आप दो तीन बार रीड नहीं करते हो, तो अगर कई बार ये होता है कि क्वेश्चन दो तीन चीजें आपसे पूछ रहा होता है, आप उसको ओवरलुक कर जाते हैं, आपसे वो चीज छूट जाती है और आप उसका जो पार्ट है उसको आंसर नहीं देते हैं. 5 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन या 4 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है, अगर आपने उसमें से कुछ पॉइंटर्स मिस कर दिए जो क्वेश्चन आपसे 3 चीजें पूछ रहा है, राइट, और आपने उसका एक पार्ट मिस कर दिया या 2 पार्ट मिस कर दिया और सिर्फ लास्ट लाइन में जो क्वेश्चन की रिक्वायरमेंट है सिर्फ उसी को आपने फोकस किया और उसी के बेसिस पे आपने अगर आंसर दिया, तो आपके जो मार्क्स है वो, क्योंकि आप इनकम्प्लीट आंसर दे रहे हो, 5 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चन या 4 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चन को 1/3 अटेंड कर रहे हो या हाफ अटेंड कर रहे हो, तो डेफिनेटली अगर आप ओवरऑल पेपर एनालिसिस करोगे तो आपका पेपर कितना हो गया, 33-34 मार्क्स का या 50 मार्क्स का अटेंड कर रहे हैं आप, तो फिर मार्क्स भी उस अकॉर्डिंगली मिलते हैं, राइट। तो स्पेसिफिकली टेक केयर दैट डेवलप दिस हैबिट दैट रीड द क्वेश्चन केयरफुली, अंडरस्टैंड द रिक्वायरमेंट, whether it is in 2 or 3 parts, right? Then, of course, you need to manage exam stress. You need to boost your confidence. How you will do? Definitely, deep breathing practice is required. Mindfulness, happiness is important. It should not so happen कि चलो भैया आज स्ट्रेस को रिलीज करना है तो चलो इंस्टा पे रील देखते हैं या चलो फेसबुक पे वो देखते हैं या सीरीज देखते हैं, पता चला हमने 3-4 घंटे 5 घंटे हमारे ब्रेन को स्ट्रेस फ्री करने की जगह और स्ट्रेस कर दिया, ओवर स्ट्रेस हो जाता है। वुड यू लाइक टू ऐड ऑन समथिंग इन दिस?
यस मैम, आई वुड लाइक दैट। स्टूडेंट्स कई बार क्या होता है, एग्जाम से पहले कुछ ऐसे सर्कमस्टांसेस या कुछ भी ऐसी सिचुएशन आ जाती है जिससे हमारा माइंड थोड़ा सा डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, वी पैनिक, तो जिसका इफेक्ट एग्जाम में आता है। तो कई बार कुछ स्टूडेंट्स 10 मिनट लेट हो जाते हैं, लाइक 2 बजे पहुंचते हैं, या कुछ भी हो जाता है। तो यू डू नॉट हैव टू टेक दैट थिंग सीरियसली। सी, अगर टाइम वेस्ट हो गया, 5-10 मिनट हो भी गए, सो लीव दैट बिहाइंड एंड मेक इट अ न्यू स्टार्ट। कि मैनेज योर टाइम देन अकॉर्डिंगली, बिकॉज आपकी जो 6 मंथ्स की प्रिपरेशन है उसके लिए सिर्फ ये 3 आवर्स मिले हैं। सो कोई भी ऐसा टेम्परेरी सर्कमस्टांस उसको उन 3 मिनट्स पे, उस 3 आवर्स पे उसको इफेक्ट नहीं लाना है।
ओके, तो the best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. So you plan your preparation, how you are going to prepare, plan your studies, and accordingly implement that plan, right? So this is our Saransh booklet. Would you please scroll down? Yeah.
This is chapter number 1. This this is chapter number 1. So that it's a summary of the study material. दिस इज फॉर योर लाइक एग्जाम से जो एक दिन के आपको मिलता है प्रिपरेशन के लिए, तो कई बार नहीं हो पाता कि हम पूरा स्टडी मटेरियल पढ़ें। सो फॉर द रिवीजन पर्पज यू कैन रेफर दैट, बट ऑफ कोर्स फॉर द डिटेल स्टडी यू हैव टू रेफर स्टडी मटेरियल like objectives. Here are given some brief objectives, but if you want to get into the detail, you have to refer the study material.
Yeah. So this
Then
is
this,
actually glimpse of Saransh. I hope you all have downloaded or you have taken your taking benefit of it. But before using it, you please do in-depth study and then you use it, right? Yeah. So next is our case scenario booklet is also there. We are having our booklet on case scenario, wherein we have discussed the case, like paper. In paper, you are having integrated case scenario, and thereafter MCQs arising from that situation, right? So this is like pattern of the same. And in this, we have added reason why the option B is correct or why option C is correct. Okay. Of course, in examination, it is not required, but for your preparation, for your like when you find doubt, so for your matlab for clarity of conceptual knowledge, we have inserted reasoning for the same. Okay. Yeah. Now, before we proceed for MCQs, we would like to discuss with you what are the fundamental principle of professional ethics. I hope you all have revised this chapter. It is very important chapter, and in November 20, sorry, January 25 examination also, identification of the fundamental principle as well as identification of threats and how to address the threat question was being asked. For 5 marks, it was for threat based, right? And for accession identification also, the question was there. So today we thought that let's discuss 5 to 10 minutes for this fundamental principles. What is the how many fundamental principles are there? So we are having 6 fundamental principle, right? And would you like to take up the fundamental principle one, integrity?
Yes, ma'am. So before starting this, students, there is no substitute for the of the word like integrity. Like we were talking about the language. You can use your own language in explanation. But if the question is given that identify the fundamental principle, you have to write the word integrity. You cannot write straightforward or honest. This is an explanation. Okay. So first principle, the first fundamental principle is integrity. In this the chartered accountant will comply with the principle of integrity. Like in providing the services, he has to be straightforward and honest. Okay, in all his professional and business relationship, he have to be very honest.
Okay. So, means he need to tell honest and straightforward is explaining it means when the situation is indicating, you need to take care of these words. And as Ankita already told you that what happened? Yeah. Yeah. This. Yeah. So, so what does it means honest or straightforward? So professional accountant means a chartered accountant shall not be. Yeah. Chartered accountant shall not be knowingly be associated. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि यहाँ कुछ गलत है, यहाँ जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो मटेरियली मतलब मीन्स वो फॉल्स है या मिसलीडिंग स्टेटमेंट है या ऐसी कोई इंफॉर्मेशन है, उस केस में सीए नीड टू बी ऑनेस्ट एंड स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड और वो उससे नोइंगली उससे एसोसिएटेड नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है, ऑनेस्टी होना चाहिए उनका. ओके, देन सेकंड इज ऑब्जेक्टिविटी, नॉट टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट. मीन्स आपका प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट जो है उसको आपको कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करना चाहिए. इट शुड नॉट कि भाई आपका कोई रिलेशनशिप है तो उसकी वजह से आपका अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस आ रहा है, तो वो सारा नहीं आना चाहिए. आपको कोई भी एंगल से बायस या कंफ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट जो है उसकी वजह से ऑब्जेक्टिविटी को कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करना है. तो ऑब्जेक्टिविटी मीन्स नॉट टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज professional judgment. Means in professional situation, how would you taken the decision or how would you have decided to pursue further? It should not so happen that we are biased and accordingly we have not applied our professional judgment and we have compromised with it. So objectivity is not to compromise professional judgment. Okay, then comes
Professional competence and due care. In this, professional accountant will attain and maintain professional knowledge and skill. Means he should have knowledge of all the accounting standards. He will work as per auditing standards, and he will know the ethics. What are the ethics written for him?
Yeah.
And
so he need to take care of all the relevant legislation also. Okay. And he need to act diligently. Now, what does diligent word means? Diligence indicate responsibility to act carefully, thoroughly, on a timely basis, right? Like you have to provide the report. Okay. So you need to provide on timely basis. So this is diligence basically, where we need to act carefully on timely basis and thoroughly. Not, it should not be matlab like without professional knowledge and skill. Of course, for that they need to develop, they need to enhance their skill also, they need to continuously update also their knowledge, and of course they should have legislation knowledge also, professional standards knowledge, engagement and quality control standard or IND-AS or accounting standard, whichever means for doing this audit or doing pursuing this activity, particularly professional accountant shall comply with the professional competence and due care. So they need to attain and they need to maintain the professional knowledge and skill. For that CP activities are being conducted, right? The next comes confidentiality. Means क्या हम इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर कर सकते हैं? नहीं, राइट. लेकिन सपोज हमारा हो गया, हमने ऑडिट कर लिया, इस साल सारा ऑडिट एक्टिविटी ओवर हो गया, नेक्स्ट ईयर हम वो कर सकते हैं? नहीं. We need to maintain confidentiality. But what if the information is asked by law? If the law is seeking some information, it is required under any law, then of course professional accountant has to provide the same. Here confidentiality will not be compromised. But if it is not required under any law, chartered accountant or professional accountant suo moto provide the information and do not respect the confidentiality, then of course our concept fundamental principle compromise हो गया, confidentiality, right? Then next is
Professional behavior. In this, the professional accountant will comply with relevant laws and regulations. Like for providing the auditing services or any services he's providing, he has to comply with all the laws and regulations mentioned for that service. Okay, he will not engage in any employment, occupation, or any activity that will impact his objectivity or that will result in compromising with his fundamental principles.
so let's discuss it with the help of one of the case scenario based example, right? Yeah. In this situation, CA Sumit, he is working in BRS and Associate. He's a chartered accountant and he is assigned to prepare the year-end financial statement for a rapidly growing tech startup, Innotech. And the company is under pressure to show strong result to attract new investor. Now, Sumit's manager Viraj has instructed him to arrange some of the numbers, particularly the reported revenue and expenses, to present a more favorable picture of the company's financial health, right? So, for this part, we are having one of the MCQ, that which of the following fundamental principle of ethics is being violated when Sumit was instructed to present a more favorable picture of the company's financial health. अगर सुमित फेवरेबल पिक्चर मोर फेवरेबल पिक्चर दिखाता है कंपनी की फाइनेंशियल हेल्थ की, तो कौन सा फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल कॉम्प्रोमाइज होगा? आई एम वेटिंग फॉर योर आंसर. You can write in the chat. You can raise your hand. Or those who are watching live, they can also write through the portal. Yeah. Right, Mridul. The answer is integrity. Right, Dilip, you have correctly identified that answer is integrity, because if just means when he is instructed to present a more favorable of the picture of the company's financial health, it means his integrity will be compromised, right? Then we are having one more MCQ.
Yes.
Yeah. For this, we need to read the question also. During the preparation of the financial statement, CA Sumit noticed several irregularity, such as overstated revenue, understated liability. Although these adjustments are not explicitly illegal, they could mislead investor and stakeholder. He also know that Viraj has developed good family term with. Okay, I'll explain in Hindi also. Once I'm telling in English, then I will tell in Hindi also. Okay, Rajveer? सो जब हमने प्रिपरेशन किया फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट का, तो सुमित नोटिस कि भैया कुछ इरेगुलरिटी है, कुछ रेवेन्यू को ओवरस्टेट किया है एंड लाइबिलिटीज अंडरस्टेटेड, अगर लाइबिलिटीज हम कम दिखा रहे हैं. ऑल्दो दीज एडजस्टमेंट आर नॉट एक्सप्लिसिटली इलीगल, they could mislead investor and stakeholders. Sumit also knows that Viraj has developed good family term with the CEO of Innotech over the year. This we will discuss after revision of the threats. Now, Sumit continued working on the financial statement. He realized that the pressure to comply with Viraj request could violate his fundamental principle of professional ethics. He decided whether to sign off on the report or raise his concern, risking his professional relationship with Viraj and the firm, right? So now one more question we are having. Which principle would Sumit violate if he disclosed financial details to a third party without the permission of the company. अगर सुमित जो है बिना परमिशन लिए कंपनी की और लीगली रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है बिल्कुल, तो उस केस में कौन सा प्रिंसिपल वायलेट होगा? राजवीर आंसर ठीक है, दिलीप आंसर ठीक है, मृदुल आंसर ठीक है, अर्पित वेरी गुड, देन संयम राइट करेक्ट आंसर, वेरी गुड. सो इट्स कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी, क्योंकि आपने परमिशन नहीं लिया, लीगली इसकी कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है एंड आप उसको डिस्क्लोज कर रहे हैं. तो इट मीन्स विदाउट डिस्कसिंग थ्रेड्स ऑल्सो यू कैन आंसर दैट सीईओ के साथ उन्होंने रिलेशनशिप बनाया है. Which type of threat arise in case of development? Yes, Sayam, right. Which type of threat arise in case of development of relationship with CEO of the Innotech? Yes, it's familiarity threat. Okay, so you all are clear with this, and of course, if you want, we can just have a glimpse of threats to independence of auditor. क्या क्या threats है? Like self interest threat कब होता है? ठीक है, सेल्फ रिव्यू थ्रेट कब होता है? तो सेल्फ रिव्यू तो आप खुद ही सोच सकते हो कि जब मैंने ही किया और मैं ही उसको चेक कर रहा हूँ. मेकर चेकर कंसेप्ट नहीं है, मैंने ही कुछ काम किया है. व्हेन ड्यूरिंग अ रिव्यू ऑफ एनी जजमेंट रीज्ड इन प्रीवियस ऑडिट और नॉन ऑडिट एंगेजमेंट, है ना, जब आप ही ने कोई काम किया और उसी को आप रिव्यू कर रहे हैं, तो सेल्फ रिव्यू थ्रेट होता है, क्योंकि आपको आपकी चीज गलत नहीं पता चलेगी. ओके, सो वी नीड टू बी have maker checker concept. सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट थ्रेट, जहां आपका इंटरेस्ट, जहां आपको लगता है फाइनेंशियल इंटरेस्ट जो है या एसोसिएट या पार्टनर को या फर्म को बेनिफिट हो सकता है, उस केस में आपका इंटरेस्ट जनरेट हो जाता है, देन सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट थ्रेट गेट attracted occur. Okay, next is advocacy threat. What is the advocacy threat? Means you are advocating for one of the client, you are promoting one of the client. Okay, and you are providing opinion so that people may believe कि yes, उनकी ऑब्जेक्टिविटी जो है वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो जाएगी. इसका मतलब क्या हो गया? आप एक क्लाइंट के लिए आप एडवोकेट कर रहे हो, आप उनके लिए अपनी ओपिनियन दे रहे हो कि ये हम मेरे अकॉर्डिंगली इसमें आपको ऐसे करना चाहिए या इसमें इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. तो कोई भी आपने उसके बारे में ओपिनियन दिया ताकि बाकी लोग इन्फ्लुएंस हो, तो उस केस में आपका एडवोकेसी थ्रेट जो है वो, या प्रचार, राजवीर बिल्कुल सही. तो उस केस में आपका एडवोकेसी थ्रेड जो है वो एप्लीकेबल हो जाता है. देन कम्स फेमिलियरिटी थ्रेड, जो आपने अभी अभी आइडेंटिफाई किया था कि ये कब होता है? जब आपका क्लाइंट के साथ में इतना अच्छा रिलेशन हो जाता है कि आप उसके लिए सिंपथेटिक हो जाते हैं. अगर डॉक्टर को पेशेंट से इतना ज्यादा कभी भी डॉक्टर को नहीं बोलते कि वो अपने क्लोज रिलेटिव की सर्जरी करे, बिकॉज कहीं ना कहीं कुछ इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. तो इसीलिए इसी तरह से व्हेन वी आर looking for audit, auditor, if auditor is forming relationship, very good relationship, then he will be sympathetic and he will not be able to give the proper opinion or report. So this indicate familiarity threat, right? The last one is intimidation threat.
This threat occurs when auditor is being threatened to remove from the job for acting objectively. Like auditor को जो क्लाइंट है उसने थ्रेट दिया है कि अगर वो उनके अकॉर्डिंग नहीं रिपोर्ट देंगे तो उनको रिप्लेस कर दिया जाएगा. तो कभी कभी ऑडिटर इस डर से जो है क्लाइंट के फेवर में रिपोर्ट दे देता है. इन दैट केस द इंटिमिडेशन थ्रेट अकर्स.
So these are threats, and now we are having one more question, and this question is, yeah, please take.
M&A Associates, a chartered accountant firm, is appointed as an auditor of XYZ Private Limited. Amit, partner of the firm, has recently bought stock in XYZ Private Limited. He believes that the company's goodwill will increase after the audit report is finalized, which could lead to a rise in stock price. As he reviews the company's financial statements, Amit decides to give unmodified opinion to help his investment. Mira, another partner of firm, is reviewing calculation of software development cost method adopted by XYZ Private Limited. Mira helped in creating this method earlier. She worries that her previous involvement in this method might affect her ability to review it. Meanwhile, Raj, the CEO of XYZ Private Limited, has requested them to modify certain disclosures in the financial statements in a way that could mislead stakeholders. He argued that a more favorable presentation will help the company secure additional investments. Mira feels that complying with this request would compromise ethical standards and worry about potential conflicts with the client. So, based on this case, we are given some MCQs. First MCQ is Amit has bought stock in XYZ Private Limited and his investment could benefit from issuance of unmodified opinion in his audit report. So which type of threat is this?
Yeah, I'm waiting for your answer, students. So now you can tell that.
Yes, Dilip, you are right. Sanyam, you are also right.
Dilip, Sanyam, and Arpit all have given the correct answer that yes, it is self-interest threat, because self-interest threat include direct financial interest. और यहाँ आपका क्योंकि खुद का इन्वेस्टमेंट है, तो सिंपल सी बात है, आपने खुद स्टॉक ले रखा है, तो आपके इन्वेस्टमेंट को बेनिफिट हो सकता है, इसलिए आपका यहाँ पे सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट थ्रेड जनरेट हो गया. हाँ, नेक्स्ट इज
Second is Mira is reviewing a method for calculating software development cost that she helped in creating while work at XYZ Private Limited. So, which threat is involved? Yes, Arpita, right.
Rajveer also right. Yeah, Mridul is also right. So, yes, it is self-review thread, because as I already told you, that's maker-checker concept is not there. She had been creating while working at XYZ Private Limited. Now she is reviewing the method. So, of course, self-review thread will occur. Okay.
So next question is related to fundamental principles. So Raj, the CEO, is requesting the Mira and Amit to modify the financial statement disclosure in a misleading manner. Which fundamental principle of professional ethics would be violated if they agree to do so?
No.
No, Rajveer.
No, Rajveer. Yes, Mridul.
Yes, Mridul, you are correct. Arpita, you are correct.
Sanyam, no. So it will be integrity. Yes, Rajveer, right, very right. Now you are on right answer. Arpita is also right. Sanyam, it will be integrity. Now, any one of you can unmute and tell why integrity. Would you like to tell, Arpita?
You can raise your hand. We will unmute.
Yeah. Yeah, Mridul.
Hello.
Yeah, Arpita.
It is integrity because it is misleading, so it will be dishonest for the users of the financial statements.
And why it is not objectivity?
Objectivity because I don't know.
I just want to ask you, what is the objectivity?
Objectivity is like in an unbiased manner, presenting it in an unbiased manner.
Yeah. So here it is not like biasness is not there. So it will be integrity only. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mridul is also there.
Yeah, Mridul. You can also unmute and tell. Mridul?
Hello.
Yeah, Mridul.
Yes, ma'am. I had the same answer. Integrity, because uh, the auditor needs to be honest and straightforward. So if he does so in the misleading manner, if he allows it, the financial statements to be misleading, then he will not be honest. He will be dishonest. So his integrity
Yes.
will be violated.
Very good. Very good. Great. So, Rajveer want to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Rajveer, unmute yourself.
Yeah, Rajveer.
Hello, ma'am.
हाँ जी
Ma'am,
Rajveer.
इंटीग्रिटी का मतलब किसी ऐसे काम के साथ नहीं जुड़ना चाहिए जो ऑडिटर को लगता है कि उसकी नज़र में गलत या भ्रामक हो सकता है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
और ऑब्जेक्टिविटी का मतलब कि ऐसे आपकी राय, आपका ओपिनियन किसी आपके हितों के टकराव, सी यू अनड्यू पूर्वाग्रह
बायसनेस।
बायसनेस नहीं होने
हाँ
चाहिए आप में।
हाँ
और
जी
सी
हाँ जी
यू अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस, किसी और की राय से आपका काम प्रभावित नहीं होना चाहिए।
हाँ जी हाँ जी। तो अभी आपको ये क्लियर है इंटीग्रिटी? चलो तो अब हम कुछ एमसीक्यूज प्रैक्टिस करें। वी ब्रॉट सम एमसीक्यूज ना? या एक सेकेंड रुकिए, अब हो जाएगा। तो आज
So students, now we will discuss some MCQs. So you will answer in the chat. So the first question is two of the statements are given. So which statement is correct in relation to limited assurance engagement? Statement 1 says it involves obtaining sufficient appropriate evidence to draw reasonable conclusion. Statement 2 says review of interim financial information of a company is an example of limited assurance engagement. So which of the option is correct? You can tell in the chat. Yes, Sanyam, you are right. Mridul, you are also right. Yes, Rajveer. No, Dilip.
तो करेक्ट किसका आंसर है?
Yes.
सबने करेक्ट
सबने
आंसर दे दिया, वेरी
correct
गुड।
दिया।
तो इट मीन्स यू ऑल हैव प्रिपेयर्ड वेल,
Dilip,
right?
the answer is D. Only statement 2 is correct because the statement 1 is in relation to reasonable assurance. It's not in relation to limited assurance.
You read the statement, na? It involves obtaining sufficient appropriate evidence to draw reasonable conclusion. Okay? So when we talk about reasonable conclusion, it will not be limited assurance engagement. It will be then reasonable assurance engagement. Okay? So that is the reason only statement 2 will be correct answer. So review of interim financial information of a company is an example of limited assurance engagement.
So
Yeah.
next question is which of the following is not addressed by the overall audit strategy? A, scope of audit, B, timing of audit, C, direction of audit, D, monitoring of audit. Yes, Rajveer, you are correct. Arpita, right? No, Mridul. Read
It
the
is
answer
a
again.
question. Read the question of
Read the
carefully
question
once.
again,
That
Mridul.
which of the following is not addressed by overall audit strategy? When you are designing, you are preparing, planning audit strategy, you are having, which of the things you will not take care, not addressed? We are having word not. So when you are,
No, Dilip.
it will be monitoring of the audit, because in strategy we will have to cater, we will have to address scope of audit, we need to take care of timing, we need to be considerate about the direction of the audit. So when we establish overall audit strategy, na, we need to set scope, timing and direction of the audit for development of the audit plan. Okay? Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
NTE for audit plan. Rajveer is right.
Yeah. Nature, timing and
Nature.
extent.
So planning and audit involves establishing the overall audit strategy for the engagement and development and audit plan. B, establishing the overall audit plan for the engagement and developing an audit strategy. C, establishing the overall audit plan for the engagement. D, developing an audit strategy. Yes, Rajveer, correct.
So I think Rajveer ने prepare कर लिया है एक
Yes.
बार पूरा.
Now,
Very
Tayyab,
good.
read the options again.
प्लानिंग में क्या क्या चीजें इन्वॉल्व होंगी? Establishing the overall audit strategy for the engagement and developing an audit plan. In second, here it is given
Sanyam is
audit plan.
right.
In second line, it is given as audit strategy. And in third one, it is establishing the overall audit plan. Again, audit plan. And in last, developing an audit strategy. So
Yes,
if
now
we
everything.
choose for the best of the answer, again, it will be establishing the overall audit strategy for the engagement and developing an audit plan, right? We need to choose the most appropriate answer. Okay? Because only for overall audit plan will not suffice, right? So we need to see establish the overall audit strategy for engagement and developing an audit plan.
The next question is, Mr. Sachin gave a comprehensive series of questions concerning the internal control related to sales to the client and requested the client to get it filled by the concerned executive. While evaluating the internal control with respect to the sales transactions, which method is followed by Mr. Sachin? So it's checklist or narrative record or internal control questionnaire or flowchart. Yes, Arpita, you are right. No, Rajveer. Yes, Dilip is also right. Rajveer, reread the question.
So you again read the question carefully that it is a comprehensive series of question. The comprehensive of series of question regarding what? Regarding internal control.
Now you are right.
Now you are able to understand that it's given in the question itself that we are having series of questions. So what is it? It is questionnaire. And regarding what it is about internal control. Now, next line will be related to sales of the client, requested the client to get it filled. Okay. So of course, for internal control questioning, we need to work on the same. So this is a internal control questionnaire. Questionnaire is a comprehensive series of questions concerning internal control. And in the questionnaire, what is generally questions are so framed that yes answer denotes satisfactory and no answer generally denote weakness. So provision is made for the explanation or further detail of no answer also, right? Yeah. Can I speak? Yeah, Rajveer, बोलिए.
Yes, now you can unmute yourself.
हेलो
हाँ जी राज.
मैम, नैरेटिव रिकॉर्ड और चेकलिस्ट में यही फ़र्क होता है कि नैरेटिव रिकॉर्ड चेकलिस्ट में हम क्वेश्चनियर बना के देते हैं उनको और फिर वो हमको फिल करके देते हैं, ठीक है, यस
हाँ.
नो में.
हाँ जी.
और नैरेटिव रिकॉर्ड में हम खुद ही उनके बारे में एक अपनी नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन बनाते हैं और खुद ही उनको भर लेते हैं, उनसे पूछ के. हम उनको नहीं देते भरने के लिए.
इंटरनल ये तो यहाँ तो इसलिए बेसिकली आपको जब क्वेश्चन आप पढ़ोगे ना तो आपको ये ध्यान देना है कि क्वेश्चन में ही उसका आंसर छुपा हुआ होता है अक्सर. और आप क्लियरली बोल रहे हैं इंटरनल कंट्रोल के बारे में बात हो रही है, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव सीरीज ऑफ क्वेश्चन है, तो सिंपल सी बात है, यहाँ कोई और ऑप्शन आने का चांस ही नहीं है. यहाँ पे सीधा सीधा आपका इंटरनल कंट्रोल क्वेश्चनर हो जाता है ना.
Who is responsible for maintaining effective internal financial controls? Statutory auditor, audit committee, management, or shareholders? Yes, Rajveer.
Right.
Arpita, right. Mridul, right.
So all are aware that yes, it is management who is responsible for maintaining effective internal financial controls. And now who is responsible for preparation of financial statements? Auditor, management, yeah, right, Mridul. Management is responsible for preparation of financial statements also. Yeah. Which of the following method would be considered the least structured and could lead to potential biases when selecting transaction for review, as it relies on the auditor's judgment and convenience? Please read it carefully. Least structured, first thing, could lead to potential biases when we select transaction for review, as it relies on the auditor's judgment and convenience.
No, Sayam, read it again.
Least structured. Systematic will be least structured? No. Random sampling means anything can be. Block sampling means like 1 to 100 or like that. Okay. So answer will be non-statistical. We have not given an option, na? Yes, you're right, Arpita and Dilip. Answer will be haphazard sampling, because in systematic it will definitely be structured. Random sampling is not, we can have any of the sample, so biasness will not be there. And in block sampling, we take like 1 to 100th or 1 to 200th. So that is block sampling. So it is haphazard sampling, right? Yeah.
Next question is, auditor is of the view that it is necessary to examine title deeds of land appearing in financial statements of the firm. In this case, which of the following fits into most appropriate description of such an audit procedure? So it's observation or inspection or external confirmation or inquiry.
नेसेसरी टू एग्जामिन टाइटल डीड ऑफ लैंड, मतलब आपको जो लैंड की टाइटल डीड है, आपके लिए हिंदी में बता रही हूँ मैं, राइट? सो नेसेसरी टू एग्जामिन द टाइटल डीड ऑफ लैंड, जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में लैंड है उसकी टाइटल डीड को आपको देखना है, ये नेसेसरी है। तो कौन सा ऑडिट प्रोसीजर है? आपको ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स इंक्वायरी में आएगा टाइटल डीड, एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन में आएगा, इंस्पेक्शन में आएगा, या ऑब्जर्वेशन? तो यहाँ आप टाइटल डीड देख रहे हो तो एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन तो नहीं हो गया, क्योंकि एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन में आप पार्टी को लिखते हो और एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन में पार्टी जो है आपको कंफर्म करती है कि क्या बैलेंस है। ठीक है, पॉजिटिव एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन, नेगेटिव एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन और एक्सेप्शन। कि पॉजिटिव के अंदर आपको ये कि ये अगर ऐसा सेम है तो देन दे नीड टू आंसर। नेगेटिव मीन्स अगर आप एग्री नहीं करते हैं तो आपको आंसर देना है। एक्सेप्शन, आपने कंफर्मेशन 5 लाख का किया, 4,90,000 बैलेंस है या 420 है या 3 लाख है, दैट इज एक्सेप्शनल सिचुएशन। तो ये एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन नहीं है। यहाँ आप टाइटल डीड से कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ रहे, यहाँ इंक्वायरी भी नहीं है, ऑब्जर्वेशन भी नहीं है कि आप कोई प्रोसीजर को होते हुए आप चेक कर रहे हैं, तो ऑब्जर्वेशन भी नहीं है। तो देन इट इज बेसिकली इंस्पेक्शन, कि आप एग्जामिन कर रहे हैं, इंस्पेक्ट कर रहे हैं टाइटल डीड विच इज अपियरिंग इन द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स ऑफ द फर्म, राइट? सो बेस्ट आंसर विल बी inspection, that is the audit procedure necessary to examine title deed of land. Okay, so it involves basically examining records or documents, whether internal or external, in paper form or electronic form or other form, other media, or a physical examination of an asset. So this all is forming part of inspection procedure, audit procedure.
So next is this case study. Y Limited is a leading electronics manufacturer specialized in televisions and accessories. The company has grown rapidly over the last few years with a significant increase in both employees and inventory. The company is currently in the process of preparing its financial statements for the financial year 23-24. The company appointed CA Ravi for an independent audit to ensure compliance with auditing accounting standards and standards on auditing. CA Ravi, the auditor, will focus on key financial assertions and implement specific audit procedure for the following items. Okay, so first is employee benefit expenses. CA Ravi will review whether the employee benefit expense has been incurred during the period in respect of the personnel employed by the entity and does not include the cost of any unauthorized personnel. So the question based on this is, which assertion is the auditor testing when they verify the employee benefit expense do not include the cost of unauthorized personnel? Which assertion will he verify? No, Arpita. No, Rajveer. No, Sanyam. Yes, Mridul, you are right. Okay, so the correct answer will be occurrence. Because as per occurrence assertion, the auditor is required to check whether employee benefit expenses has been incurred during the period in respect of personnel employed by the entity.
And why not this option D, existence? Or why not it is completeness? Hmm? Is it clear to all that it is occurrence? Mridul, you have rightly mentioned. Whether others are clear why it is occurrence? Now, first, read the question carefully. Which assertion is the auditor testing when they verify that employee benefit expenses do not include the cost of unauthorized personnel? Okay, so existence assertion is checked for assets, right? And for for balance sheet items, we check existence item assertion. Okay, but when we talk about this occurrence, occurrence is for income and expenditure statement, that whether it occurred or not occurred. Completeness means whole, complete overall information is covered over there. So when you are verifying that employee benefit expenses do not include the cost of unauthorized personnel, it means unauthorized personnel was not working. Unauthorized personnel means that personnel was not working and we are giving employee benefit expenses for that. So we need to check whether it occurred or not, whether that personnel has worked or not. Okay. And then thereafter, if it is not, then we should not show it. If it is, that is covered in your occurrence assertion. Okay, valuation assertion specifically talks about values, monetary values. Okay, and cutoff assertion is specifically for that particular period. If it is for that particular period, like for employee benefit expenses, if it is relating to next year or it is relating to previous year. But when we prepare income and expenditure statement, we need to ensure that the items are of that particular period. Yes. So for that time period, it will be cut off assertion. So I hope it is clear to all. So that is the reason answer is occurrence and it is option B, because auditor is required to check whether employee benefit expenses is incurred during the period, means for that particular period, in respect of that particular personnel or employee in the entity. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि बोगस नेम से किसी को एम्प्लॉय शो किया हुआ है और उसको हम एम्प्लॉय बेनिफिट एक्सपेंसेस में शो कर रहे हैं, तो वो चीज चेक करने के लिए हम अकरेंस असर्शन पे एम्फसाइज करते हैं. आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू ऑल, राइट? या.
So now we'll read the rest of the case, which is in relation to inventory. First is C. Ravi will check inventory balance at the year end does not include any item of next financial year. All items of inventory pertaining to the relevant year shall be included regardless of the location. Second is he will verify that entities own or control the inventory recorded in the financial statements, that is, purchase invoices has been made in the name of
Here
client.
we are revising the topic which is covering, which is having maximum weightage. Yeah.
It's 12 to 20%. Any inventory held by the entity on behalf of another entity has been recognized as a part of inventory of the entity. Next one is He will also check that inventory has been recognized at the lower of cost and net realizable value in accordance with AS2. Last one is he will ensure that any cost that could not be reasonably allocated to the cost of production and any abnormal wastage have been excluded from the cost of inventory, and acceptable valuation has been used to value inventory as at the period end. Okay, so now we will read rest of the questions. The second is all the items of inventory pertaining to the relevant year shall be included regardless of the location. Which assertion is auditor testing? Yes, Rajveer, you are correct.
Because here we are specifically focusing, emphasizing on the word relevant
No, Arpita.
year. So when we are specifically talking about that particular year, whether it is at client's place, whether it is at consignor's place, kahin pe bhi hai. But what we need to take that all item of inventory pertaining to relevant year, we need to consider the year. It should not be of previous year, it should not be of next year. So we always mark when we talk about year, it is cut-off assertion. It will not be completeness because it is specifically talking about year. Right and obligation means उससे related documents. Okay, and accuracy or valuation means उसकी value. Yeah.
So next question is the auditor reviews purchase invoices have been made in the name of client. Which assertion is he primarily testing? Yes, Mridul, right. Arpita also right.
So it's already like here what you are doing, you are reviewing that purchase invoice are in the name of client. In the name of client. It means, and what you are doing, you are reviewing purchase invoices. Okay, so it's not for valuation. Okay, it is not for occurrence because here we are talking about inventory. For inventory, occurrence is not the assertion. It is okay, and sorry, then completeness will also not be here, it will be rights and obligation. We are reviewing the documents to check whether our right and obligation are there. So we are reviewing purchase invoice that it is made in the name of client or not. Okay. So answer will be B, rights and obligation. Right, Rajveer. It is RO, rights and obligation. You have used short form we could not understand, but Dilip, Arpita, and others are giving correct answer. Okay. Yeah.
So next question is when the auditor assesses whether inventory has been valued at a lower of cost and net realizable value, which assertion does he wants to test?
Yeah, now everyone is aware of it that it is valuation assertion, right? Very good. So when we check about the valuation that it is at the lower of cost or net realizable value, it will be valuation assertion, right?
Now we'll come to next question, which is not related to case study.
It is standard based chapter question.
From audit documentation, Mr. Rishabh and Ms. Soni were having a discussion about the various requirements of assembly of final audit file and the changes that can be made in the audit documentation during the final assembly process. According to Ms. Soni, only changes of administrative nature can be made, like deleting superseded documentation, sorting,
So
collating.
सबसे पहले तो I just want to ask in how many days we can do this? Till how long? Means how many days are prescribed for it? Very good, Rajveer. Very good. You have prepared well. Very good. So 60 days is the time limit, right? Prescribed for this. So for assembly of the final audit file and the changes that can be made in the audit documentation during the final assembly process. Now next question comes is what kind of changes you can have? whether it can be of administrative nature, or you can have other type of changes also. So the question is specifically regarding that only, that contention of Sony is that only change of administrative nature can be made, like deleting, superseded documentation, sorting, collating, cross-referencing. So these are all administrative natures work. Okay. And changes like recalculation of depreciation should not be made during such final assembly. So what do you think? Whether thinking of Sony is correct or not? Okay, now I'm waiting for your answer. Option A, thinking of Miss Soni is not correct, as change which are administrative in nature cannot be made in the audit documentation during the final assembly process. Thinking of Miss Soni is correct.
Yes, Mridul.
Thinking of Miss Soni is not correct, because change in form of recalculation of depreciation amount can be made in the audit documentation during the final assembly process. Thinking of Miss Soni is partly correct, that during the final assembly process, changes like deleting, superseded document cannot be made. So it is very clear-cut question that, yes. Oh, here we have received answer from V. Harish that okay, that maximum of 60 days. Very good, Harish. Yeah. Very good. You have rightly said that only administrative nature, not anything new. So option B will be the correct answer, that thinking of Miss Su. Correct. Right. So moving towards next question.
Which of the following statement is appropriately suited to preparation of audit documentation? First is, audit documentation has to be prepared simultaneously as audit progresses. B, audit documentation has to be prepared within 60 days after the date of audit report. Third is, audit documentation has to be prepared when information is required by regulator. D, audit documentation has to be prepared 60 days after completion of audit work. Yes, Rajveer, correct. Mridul is also correct. No, Dilip. So the correct answer is A. Audit documentation has to be prepared simultaneously as audit progress. इसको साथ साथ ही बनाना होता है. कि ऑडिट कंप्लीट होने के बाद ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नहीं हो सकती, जैसे जैसे ऑडिट चल रही होती है उसको साथ साथ डॉक्यूमेंट करना होता है. आई होप यू गेट इट, दिलीप. So moving towards the next question. Which kind of audit report will the auditor issue if the use of going concern basis of accounting is appropriate, but a material uncertainty exists and adequate disclosure of material uncertainty is made in the financial statements by a manager? So, what report will the auditor issue? Adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion, unmodified opinion, qualified opinion. Okay, Rajveer.
Ma'am,
D, no,
explain in English
it's not
also.
D.
Okay. Yeah. So now let's read the question once again carefully. How many of them are giving?
Not
Okay.
yet.
So which kind of audit report will the auditor issue if the use of going concern basis of accounting is appropriate, but a material uncertainty exists? Okay. Now, it is discussed in essay 570, right? Essay 570 is going concern. Okay. And auditor need to ensure that accounting going concern basis of accounting is appropriate or not, whether any material uncertainty exists or not. If exist, of course, if it is not, then it's fine. Then of course we will go for unmodified opinion. But when material uncertainty exists, we need to check two pointers. One is whether adequate disclosure of the material uncertainty is done in the financial statements by the management. If it is not, so if the adequate disclosure is already being made, then again we will be giving unmodified opinion. But if adequate disclosure is not being made, then we need to give modified opinion. Modified opinion means your adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion, or qualified opinion. Okay. In this situation, what is being happened, that use of going concern basis of accounting is appropriate, but a material uncertainty exists. However, disclosure is adequately made of that material uncertainty. So answer will be unmodified opinion. So we need to ensure that yes, if material uncertainty is there, but its proper disclosure is being made by the management or not, right? So we need to take this fact carefully, that if disclosure is made or not. If disclosure is not made, then definitely it will be depending on the other factors, adverse opinion or qualified opinion. Now, disclaimer of opinion, again we need to, for expression of any opinion, we need to have consider 2-3 parameters. One is material misstatement. Second is whether it is pervasive or not. So it means, first thing, whether we are having audit evidence or not. If audit evidences are there, then of course we need not to think for disclaimer of opinion. For disclaimer of opinion, we need to see that if material misstatement is there and it is impacting, pervasiveness is there. Okay. So if it is pervasive, then definitely we will give disclaimer of opinion. Okay. Yeah, if it is sufficient appropriate audit evidence is not there, Rajveer, then, and second part is sufficient appropriate audit evidence are not there, but material misstatement is there, and that is again pervasive. So materiality is also there and pervasiveness is also there. Materiality you need to define when you initiate for the audit. Okay. So according to that, you need to give the, accordingly you need to express the opinion. But for going concern, you need to take care that, first thing, whether going concern basis of accounting is appropriate or not, material uncertainty exists or not, and third one, adequate disclosure of material uncertainty is made or not. If it is made, it will be always unmodified opinion. If it is not, then of course we need to go for modified opinion depending on the other factors. Yeah. ऊपर क्वेश्चन चले गए. Yeah.
If the auditor is of the opinion that written representations are not reliable, what kind of audit opinion should be issued by him? It's disclaimer of opinion, adverse opinion, unmodified opinion, and mention the facts in other matters paragraph, or unmodified opinion and mention the facts in emphasis of matter paragraph. No, Rajveer. Anyone else? No, Arpita. Yes, Mridul, you are right.
Harish is saying D. No, Harish. Now you need to understand when we give emphasis of matter paragraph and when we give other matter paragraph. Emphasis of matter paragraph when it is relating to financial statement and for users understanding. It is very important for users understanding of financial statements. Okay, there at for that we give emphasis of meta paragraph. Okay, and other meta paragraph, it is not relating to financial statement but important for a user to know, like who was the auditor previously doing the audit. Okay, and adverse opinion, of course it will not be. Unmodified opinion and mention the fact in other meta paragraph, it will not be. Unmodified opinion and mention the fact in the emphasis of meta paragraph, no. Here, if the auditor is of the opinion that written representations are not reliable, so whatever written representation, first of all, though, I want to know which essay will be applicable in this situation. It will be essay. Yeah, very good. Essay 580. Essay 580 is written representation. Okay. And who provides written representation? Auditor or management? Management provides the written representation to the auditor for certain aspects where auditor requires that you need to give me writing. Okay. And now whatever auditor received from the management in the form of written representation as per SA 580, if those written representation are not reliable, then auditor should take appropriate action. Okay. He need to ensure what is the possible effect of that. And according to that, in accordance with SA 705, that auditor is required to give modified opinion. He cannot give unmodified opinion because written representations are not reliable. So now we need to see, in modified opinion, we are having two options, adverse or disclaimer. So now adverse means worst situation. So here we will give disclaimer of opinion because we have not received sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Means written representation, those would have form can be in the form of sufficient appropriate audit evidence, because management is giving something in the writing. For those factors we are not having sufficient appropriate audit evidence, and if it is pervasive, then definitely we will be giving disclaimer of opinion. If it is not pervasive, then of course we will be using the qualified opinion part. Okay, we will give in the form of qualification. Yeah. Hmm.
A government department has been allocated a budget for infrastructure development. During the audit, the auditor observes some payment were processed without proper approval from the competent authority. So, which type of audit would most likely identify the issue of payments processed without proper approval from the competent authority? Is it audit against rules and orders, or audit of sanction, or audit against provision of funds, or proprietary audit? Yes, Mridul, right?
Now, again, the answer is already given in the question itself. Read the question that now department has allocated budget. Okay. And now auditor, what is auditor's observation? That some payments were processed without proper approval from the competent authority. Without approval from the competent authority. Now, whether it is rules and orders? No. Best answer, if we need to choose, audit of sanction, because it means it is not being sanctioned, because competent authority will sanction and thereafter the expenses will be incurred, right? Harish, you have correctly mentioned that it will be audit of sanction. And of course Srishti Goyal and Srishti is also giving the correct answer. So, and again, audit again, provision of funds means for the fund, we have made some provision, but we are making payment for something else. So, audit of sanction means before processing the payment, proper approval of competent authority is required. If they sanction, then only the payment should be processed. But in the given situation, some of the payments were processed without proper approval from the competent authority. So when the payments are processed without proper approval from the competent authority, audit of sanction is required. This ensures that sanction either special or general accorded by the competent authority authorize the expenditure. So authorization is very important, right? So I hope it is clear to all now that the answer will be B. Okay, next. Nowadays, this kind of question is being asked in the examination, that what is the requirement of audit of accounts of an LLP. Here we have just taken knowledge and comprehension for revision purpose, but in the examination, it is asked in the form of application based situation.
What is the requirement for audit of accounts of LLP?
Yeah, students, we are
Right.
taking MCQs, but still, if you have any doubt or if you really want to ask anything, you please raise your hand or you write in the chat. Otherwise, we will keep doing the MCQs and your query should not be unresolved. It should be resolved so that in the examination you can at least do well, you do wonders, and you pass with flying colors, and definitely provide your feedback to us that yes, we have passed and we have prepared well. So if you have any specific query, if you want to discuss anything specifically, please write in the chat or raise your hand and you can share that. Of course, in the meantime, we will keep going with the MCQs. Yeah.
Shrishti, you are right.
So Shrishti has given the correct answer. Harish, your answer is not correct. You need to revise this topic, okay? Because LLP is always, it is not application based. If we would have given the situation and then we would have asked, then you need to think. Yeah. So Mridul, you are giving correct answer that yes, turnover should be 40 lakh or exceed 40 lakh and contribution should be exceeding 25 lakhs. So in option B and option D, if we see in option B, it is written if either the turnover exceed 40 lakh or the capital contribution exceed 40 lakh or 25 lakh. Harish, you now we are not providing any link for Zoom meeting. You log in through the BOS Knowledge Portal or BOS mobile app. Just simply mentioning your registration number, and you will be able to reach out the session. Okay? Yeah. So correct answer will be option B, that accounts of every LLP shall be audited in accordance with Rule 24 of LLP Rules 2009, and it specifically provides that any LLP whose turnover does not exceed in financial year 40 lakh rupees or whose contribution does not exceed 25 lakh rupees is not required to get its accounts audited. So here we need to check exceed 25 lakh capital contribution and exceed 40 lakh for turnover. Okay, so answer will be B. Yeah.
Next question is, an agricultural advance is classified as NPA if interest or principal is overdue for how much duration in case of short duration crops, or if interest or principal is overdue for how much duration in case of long duration crops.
So here you need to tell us about the NPA classification, okay? And that is for if interest or principal is overdue for short duration, how many? And for long duration, how many? You have given partial answer, Rajveer.
Mridul,
For
you are
both,
correct.
you need to give, na?
For both.
Yeah. So Mridul, can you unmute yourself and tell the answer? As first, you have given the correct answer, so.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So the answer is that for short duration crops, we need to see for two crop seasons if the interest or principal is overdue, then it will be classified as NPA. Or
Right.
in case of long duration crops, we see for only one crop season if the interest or principal remains overdue, then it is an NPA.
So very good. So option B is the correct answer, right? And Harish has also given correct answer. Then your Rajveer and other also have given the correct answer. And Mridul explained also, right? So let's move to next question.
Any amount due to the bank under any credit facility is overdue if it is not paid on the due date fixed by bank. B. It's not paid within 30 days of due date fixed by bank. C. It is not paid within 60 days of due date fixed by bank. D. It is not paid within 90 days of due date fixed by bank.
So for credit facility, already it is on credit, right?
Yes, Rajli, right.
Yeah. So credit facility is already on credit. So again, whether we will give 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or how we are going to proceed. Yeah. What about others? Mridula, very good. So Mridula and Rajveer has given the correct answer. And so answer is A. It is not paid on the due date fixed by the bank. As I already hinted you that it is credit facility and amount is already due. So overdue means if it is not paid on the due date, right? Srishti, I hope it is clear to you. Yeah. Again, we are having one more case study. In case if you have any doubts, students, you can ask because time is short now.
CA Nagar is the managing partner of Nagar and Company, a CA firm. As a part of firm's annual review, CA Nagar assessed whether any independence threats exist in the firm for the financial year 23-24. The firm has recently taken on multiple clients and engagements, and CA Nagar has noted a few observations regarding the independence of firm staff and partners. CA Nagar wants to classify and evaluate the threats to the firm's independence based on the observation received from staff and partners for the year. So here are some observations. Observation 1 is CAP, partner of the firm, performed both statutory audit and non-audit engagement services for Green Private Limited. So the question related to that is, which threat to firm independence exists in this observation? Is Rajveer correct? I think everybody should know this answer.
Maybe Harish is giving A answer for that previous Wala question. So we are receiving a little bit late. So again, can we go to the question part? Observation 1. CAP, a partner of the firm, perform both statutory audit and non-audit engagement service for Green Private Limited. It means the CAP has performed non-audit engagement and now he is doing statutory audit. It means he is checking that also. So it means there is no maker-checker concept. So it will be self-review threat, right? Yeah.
Next is CAL, partner of the firm, who has done income tax audit for future associates, wherein
Yeah,
CAL
one second. Harish want to see the question once again. Harish, in the question we are talking about observation 1 that CAP, a partner of the firm, perform both the statutory audit and the non-audit engagement service for Green Private Limited. Now, the question is which threat to the firm's independence exists in the case of CAP as referred in observation 1. So we have discussed that CAP, who is also giving non-audit engagement, non-assurance engagement services, and he is also a statutory auditor. So it means he is reviewing his own work also for that particular non-assurance engagement, right?
The second observation is CAL, partner of the firm who has done income tax audit for future associates, wherein CAL has material significant indirect financial interest. Okay, so with reference to observation 2 related to CAL, which type of threat exists? Yes, Srishti, you are right. Yes, Rajveer, right.
He's saying C.
No, it's not advocacy threat, Harish. The answer is self-interest.
Before, just let's read the observation 2 again. Observation 2 is CAL, who is a partner of the firm, has done income tax audit, wherein CAL has material significant indirect financial interest. Financial interest is their material significant indirect. So financial interest is there. That is the reason it is self-interest threat. Okay. Yeah, Tanish is asking, I have doubt in SQC1 and SA 220. What we have studied from exam point of view, everything is in paragraph. Please guide. Tanish, if you want to see in the flowchart form, that is also there in the Saransh booklet. You can see over there. I know. One second. Go to page number 200. So it is SQC1 and SA 220. As you already know that SQC1, both are for quality control only. Both are for deals with engagement review. But one important thing is SQC1 applies to firm, entire firm. What you have done? 1 second. And these are given in the form of flowchart. If you see, it's there in the flowchart in form that firm should establish a system of quality control designed to provide it with reasonable assurance. So it's with the point of view of firm, and in the next one, it is about SA 220 we have discussed. So you can refer it, and in case still if you find any difficulty, you can definitely talk to us. But yeah, actually, you have written in smaller point. Na? I could not very much understand that whether you want to ask me what is the difference in SQC1 and SA 220, or you want me to tell you that what we have to study from exam point of view. Okay, everything is in paragraph. So in examination, generally, simply questions are being asked. In case scenario, like wo 60 days wala requirement or that kind of questions are being asked. But yes, it is in the form of para, and that is converted into flowchart also. If you will read the paragraph, that is same point like SQC1, what is its requirement, what are the elements. If you read in the flowchart also, you will be able to see the elements of the system of quality control. According to SQC1, firm is required to establish a system of quality control so that it can provide it with reasonable assurance that the firm and its personnel comply with professional standards and regulatory requirement. That is the requirement of SQC1. If you read the name question, like quality control for firms that perform because SQC1 is applicable for all. SA is for only audit. So quality control for firm that perform audit and review of first historical financial information, other assurance and related service engagement. So everything is covered over here. Okay. So question can be based on elements, any of the elements or ethical requirements. It can be of the question can be asked, or it can be in the form of acceptance and continuance of client relationship and specific engagement. So pointers can be like if you are talking about SQC1 that regarding integrity of a client, then what are the matter auditor should consider? So this can be a question which you need to answer on the basis of SQC1. Okay, that for integrity in view of SQC1, what are the matters firm need to consider? And for example, also you may be asked to provide. Okay. Similarly for SA 220 also, for SA 220 you need to understand that it is standards on auditing. So it's applicable only for audit point of view. So any of the question can be asked like it can be of for engagement performance question can be asked, right? It can be on engagement performance, or it can be on monitoring point of view that engagement partners should document following matters pertaining to audit engagement in view of SA 220. We need to provide them. Then some of the questions are also given in the back of the chapter, at the end of the chapter. You can read in case if you still find any doubt about this topic, you can just call us on 0120304595. Okay, Tanish? I hope your query is resolved. Like, how does SQC1 ensure that independence in engagement is not breached by an audit firm? Or question can be an engagement partner takes overall responsibility for maintaining audit quality in an audit engagement in accordance with SA 220. What are his objective in taking and emphasizing such responsibility? So these kind of questions are already being given in the study material at the back of the chapter. And apart from this, we are having model test paper booklet wherein we 8 compiled model mock test papers are there, including a previous year question paper also. Some of the question may be there. So you can get idea that what kind of questions are being asked from that topic, right? So practice with the help of that book, right, Tanish? You can download or you can simply practice with the help of that, and you'll be able to understand what kind of questions are being asked from. In fact, not only for this SQC1 or SA 220, it can be for any of the chapter. Okay. Yeah. So remaining 1 or 2 questions are there, and any other student, if they want to ask, if any of the students you have any doubt, because now time is indicating us to wind up also. We will be completing in 5 or 10 minutes. So Rajveer, actually chapter 5, now you need to read the chapter thoroughly. You need to understand the assertions. Which are the assertions when it will be applicable for that particular situation, like we did practice. Okay, so when you are through with the assertions, you will be able to give the required answer. Yeah.
The next observation is Nagar and Company accepted expensive gifts and hospitality from the client after completing the year-end audit.
So audit is complete, but then they accepted expensive gifts. Now, which threat will be attracted? Familiarity threat.
Familiarity.
Right. Mridul, right. Rajveer, Dilip. Dilip, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, Dilip. Are you able to unmute? Okay, maybe we are not able to hear. Okay, so it will be familiarity threat. So Shrishti, can you unmute and tell why it is familiarity threat? Shrishti or Rajveer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Shrishti, why it is familiarity threat?
Ma'am, it is because client here he is accepting gifts, expensive gifts from his client and a hospitality, and this there is a close relative of the auditing. There is a close relation between them. So
Right, right. So it means they will be sympathetic to the client because if they accept the gifts and hospitality, it means the relationship will be sympathetic and it may hamper, right? So familiarity threat will be attracted. Okay. So I think now we are moving towards last question.
Last question.
Yeah.
One of the clients, Mrs. Walk Limited, threatened to replace them as auditors because the audit team insisted to make provision for expected credit loss, which the company will not willing to provide.
So in that also you need to identify the threat only which will attract. So in last one, Harish and Tanish also gave correct
No,
answer.
it's not.
Shall we show the question once again? I think why he is writing A. Yeah, Shrishti is saying once again the question. Yeah. So what is observation 4 is one of the client threatened to replace them as auditor because the audit team insisted to make provision for expected credit loss which the company was not willing to provide. So they are doing, it will be intimidation threat. Yeah. So with this, we have discussed the MCQs from each and every chapter. Few MCQs, of course. We have discussed case scenario also. Yeah. Tanish is asking how to cover audit of different entities. Tanish, audit of different entities generally, if you see like audit of hospital, audit of charitable institution or government audit. So first thing is for different type of entities, some pointers are similar. So the question is generally either of 5 marks or 4 marks. When we read the pointers, we read the topic carefully, we try to make flow notes. Okay, and for that 4 pointers or 5 pointers you should be able to retain. If the pointers are small, of course you need to go for 7 or 8, but yes, for that you need to revise and you need to write the points in your notes, and you are revising twice or thrice because you will observe some of the points are very very common, like agreement point. Okay, agreement terms. So that is very much common. So you can simply interlink with each of the scenario. Like for hospital or for hotel or for charitable institution, some of the key pointers are there. And of course, you can use the Saransh itself for this. See, like for multi-state cooperative society, we have tried to provide the pointers. So you can take the help. Now, if you are not able to make your own notes, but after revising it, revising with the help of this, definitely you need to have writing practice so that you are able to give all the required pointers. One more thing, do not repeat the pointer. You can write in your own words, but yes, all the required points should be covered. Okay, so this is actually, if you see different type of entities, audit of society. Now, what are the auditor's consideration? So when you will be reading the pointers, now you will be able to identify some unique points which are almost common for each and every. Those 5 or 6 points, it should be, or 8 points should be retained in your mind. Then in one or 2 points, like for society or for other, specific 1 or 2 pointers should also be in your mind, like for a trust or hospital. So for that, just 1 or 2 points should be in your mind, or you can write according to that. Yeah. Harish is saying last doubt, can we interlink the subject like AS9 with audit of revenue, etc. Yes, definitely. If it is relating to related party, you need to give AS 18 or SA 550 or IND AS 24, right? or for revenue also. So of course you need to, because audit is interlinked with all the subject. Each and every subject is covered over here. That is the reason you are, audit means you are checking. So of course you can interlink. Okay, Harish? Yeah. Shrishti, I am appearing from group 2. Yeah, very good, Rajvi. Business को समझना चाहिए, उसके कुछ unique features we need to capture, and according to that we need to give. Yeah, how to revise audit in last 20 days, any plan? I hope you have done thorough study and revision. Of course, if you have done thorough study, then you do mock test paper practice. So you will be able to understand which topic is requiring more efforts. Of course, you can take help of Saransh. In this Saransh, we have covered major pointers. So Shrishti, you can, and students, you can use the Saransh for revision purpose. But of course, along with this, you need to have mock test practice so that you can understand how to plan, how to cover, and how to write in the examination. And any important pointers should not be missed so that you can get the benefit of maximum marks. Otherwise, if silly mistakes are being done, you are able to tell, but when you are writing, sometimes it happens that it is in our mind, but when we are writing, we are not writing that thing, or we are writing something else. So that point we need to assess that in examination we are writing correct points and required points so that we can get maximum marks. Our marks are not cut just because of small mistakes. Okay. And revision, of course, if you are revising regularly, you will be able to write in the examination also. You have just left with 2 chapters, then do it. And of course, practice with the help of case scenario booklet also. At least in a day, 1 or 2 case scenario. So it will be definitely covered. And with reasoning, you will understand the logic also, that how once first you read, you solve. Thereafter, check the answer and reason whether you are logically correct or not. Because sometimes the situation is asked in the examination as it is, not in the form of MCQ. So that will definitely help you. That how to read and how to take the, how to solve the case scenario based MCQs. And these are 30 marks are like, which we should not miss. And of course, when in the examination you are stuck for the MCQ, then do remember that it is only for 2 marks. So you cannot give calculation and you are allocating much more time. So your time management should be perfect. Okay. Yeah. Any other query? Prepared well, just left with 2 chapters and have to solve MCQ booklet, and there are any chance of coming question from, yeah, it can be. You never know. It can be question from that. But yes, we are not paper setter, but we are here to handhold, to guide you, to help you, of course. So definitely we can guide you that yes, with this practice in the examination, your time will be saved and you will be able to get through quickly, and definitely you'll get good marks. Thank you, Dilip, for your feedback. Thank you so much. And your feedback is very, very important, right? Yeah. Rajveer, disclaimer opinion wala question repeat. Disclaimer of opinion mein it was relating to written representation. Now written representation is provided by management. Okay. And these are like audit evidence for auditor. Okay. Sometimes written representation play role of audit evidence. So for disclaimer of opinion, if written representation is not reliable, it means you have not obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence. And when we look after, we take means now in that we were having only 2 options of, one was unmodified opinion, second was disclaimer of opinion or adverse opinion. Qualified opinion was not there any choice, है ना? So we have adverse or disclaimer of opinion. So adverse, so of course it is a unique case when everything goes wrong, then we go for adverse, right? But for disclaimer of opinion, since management representation is not reliable, it means we are not having sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. One thing. Second thing, we are not having qualified opinion. It means we need to check that it is pervasive or not. If it is pervasive, then definitely we need to give disclaimer of opinion. So in the MCQ, we need to opt for most appropriate answer. If there would have been qualified opinion, I might have chosen qualified opinion because limited part is there. So depending on the factors. But when you are not having that option and management representation is sufficient appropriate audit evidence, it is not reliable, it means you have not get, and it means there is some pervasiveness is also means in existence of pervasiveness also. So that is the reason we have given disclaimer of opinion. Okay. Yeah, with this, I think thank you to each and every student for the patience, listening, and be participative in the webinar and Success at CA examination, which is organized by Board of Studies of ICI. And we wish you all the very best. Our best wishes are with you. I hope you fly in the plane of ambition and land on the platform of success. Be the pointers which we have shared with you. Please follow that and wish you all the very best. And mentor for the session, I am CA Karuna Bhansali.
And I'm C. Ankita Yadav.
If you find any difficulty after this session also, you can write through Ask Your Query feature or through mobile app, and you can also call on 0120 With this, thank you. Thank you all the students. Thanks a lot for your patience listening, and if any feedback, do share with us. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी.